Hello, everyone. Hope you are doing fine. We have just met previously for Chapter 4, and for this video, we are going to focus on Chapter 5, Formulating the Research Design. So if you look at the slides, okay, we have covered for positivism, critical realism, interpretism, postmodernism, and pragmatism in the previous video. And we have also looked at approach to theory development, deduction, abduction, and induction in the previous video. So for this video, we are going to look at the blue layers. So we are going to look at methodological choice, strategies, and also time horizon. Okay. So the table of contents for this research. So the first one, we are going to look at methodological choice. So the use of quantitative, qualitative, or mixed methods that is suitable for your research design. Okay, and then we are going to look at strategies, whether you are going to go for quantitative, qualitative, or even both. Right, so then we are going to look at time horizon. So how you want to conduct your research, how long can you spend in completing your research. Okay, so time horizon, we have cross-sectional, okay, and also longitudinal. Okay, so for PSM, cross-sectional is the best choice because you have limited amount of time. So for longitudinal, maybe you can use this when you expand your research for your master's research or PhD, yeah, using the same topic. Okay, let's look at the first section of this class or this video. We look at the methodological choice. So if you look at your textbook, yeah, so we have this figure. Okay, so this is figure 5.2, page 176. Okay, so you can have a look at that. So the research choice, you will have two types of choice. The first one is mono method, and the second one is multiple method. So when we say mono method, it's only quantitative, okay, or qualitative. Okay, so only these two using the mono method, one method. Okay, mono means one. Okay, so when we have multiple methods, you can also divide it into two types, multi-method or mixed method. So when you say multi-method, okay, it still lies in terms of quanti, okay, quanti or quali only. Okay, so you can see here quanti or quali only, but you in that quantitative, maybe you use a few types of quantitative method, and in the qualitative you maybe use different or multi-qualitative approaches. Okay, here maybe you do some interviews, and then you also do observation, for example. Okay, so there are multi-method quali. In terms of mixed method is you have also mixed method research and also mixed model research. So you have one model but you use two methods, quanti and quali. For example, if you have mixed model, maybe you have a few models and then you combine it into one using different methods as well. Okay, so let's look at the multiple methods approach. So we have multiple methods and also mixed methods approach. Okay, so multiple methods, like I've mentioned, refers to those combination where we use more than one data collection technique but restricted within either quantitative or qualitative. Okay, but when we say mixed method approach, it's where both quanti and quali data collection. Okay, so for multiple, you only collect one type of data, but you maybe have the technique in terms of what do you call it? Combination, where we one data collection, but the technique is a combination of multiple methods, but mix, you have different types of data. Okay, so what does it mean by quantitative and qualitative? Okay, so let's look at it. So quantitative, like we've mentioned in the previous video, okay, it is suitable for positivism philosophy, okay, and you use a structured data collection technique. So when we say structured, usually you will have a survey that you have already designed with the answers, yeah, the potential answers, the choices, yeah, that the respondents may choose to answer the questions. Okay, so that is what we call structured. So for example, if you want to, if you're doing your examination, when you have multiple choice questions that has A, B, C, D choice, that is called a structured question. Okay. And the quantitative research is associated with the deductive approach, and it is usually to test a theory that is already out there. Okay, so you want to maybe revalidate, okay, certain theory, or you want to retest a certain theory in a maybe different approach, okay, different context or different approach. So you can use quantitative for this particular situation. So in terms of qualitative, it is more interpretive philosophy, and it is very subjective. It is biased to the researcher. So how the researcher view the situation, the scenario, the problem, and how the researcher interprets the findings, the data. So that is why it is very subjective. So compared to quantitative, it is related to the theory that is already out there. So for qualitative, it is subjective to the researcher. So in terms of approach, it is an inductive approach, and it is used to build theory or to develop a richer theoretical perspective. So maybe you want to expand something, you want to explore something. Okay, so it is not based on a particular 100% on a particular theory. You can start with a theory, but maybe your objective will be expansion, or you want to enhance the theory, or even you want to build your own theory based on your research topic. Okay, when we talk about mixed method research design, okay, so we look into multiple methods that integrates, okay, that combines, yeah, the quantitative and qualitative data in the same, okay, in the same research project. Okay, so the suitable philosophy will be pragmatism and also critical realism. So a mixed method research will use deductive, inductive, or abductive. It can go for theory development, and it also can use theory as only to provide the direction for the research. It also in terms of enhancement, okay, and also explore, okay, maybe they want to do some descriptive research, okay, in terms of understanding a certain scenario. Okay, descriptive research is when you want to describe in depth about a certain scenario that is maybe new, or maybe you have a new understanding about an old issue. Okay, so that's an example of descriptive research. So now let's have a look at the mixed method research design. So this is only focusing on the mixed method. If you use mono method, you don't have to look into this particular figure. Okay. So for example, mixed method, you can go for number one is called concurrent, and then you or you can choose to do it sequentially, or sequential exploratory, or sequential explanatory, or you can also do sequential multi-phase. What does this mean? So if you want to do mixed method research design, if you have chosen concurrent, meaning that your quantitative method and your qualitative method will be conducted simultaneously, okay, at the same time. So maybe when you are distributing your survey, and then at the same time you will be doing your interviews or observations or focus group discussion. Okay, when we say sequential exploratory, the term explore, okay, the word explore is indicating more towards qualitative. Okay, so here we can see qualitative method starts first, and the result of this will lead to your quantitative methods. So for explanatory, this is talking about explain, from the word explain. So this is more deductive approach, okay, deductive. So it is more on quantitative side. So you start with your quantitative side, so from the result, and then it will relate to your how you will collect your qualitative method. So it's more on theory, proving the theory here. That's why we say explain. You explain something, is using deductive approach. When you explore, it's more subjective here, yeah? All right, so when you say sequential multi-phase, sometimes you start with qualitative first, and then you go for quanti, and then you go for quali back. Maybe you want to address certain RQ, okay, or certain RO in terms of the phases. Maybe it is related, okay, and so on. So it depends. Everything in your research must depend on your RQ and RO, okay. So your RQ and RO, yeah, will signal what type of method that you will use. So if you remember from our previous classes that I've mentioned, how you design your research question, research objective will signal the type of method that you will use to solve the research problems of your research topic. Okay, so when you look at your research and research topic, okay, it is very, very important to understand what is the research design, okay? What is the research design that you are going to use for your research, okay? For example, okay? Okay, here, sorry. This is when we say exploratory. Okay, that is the first research design. So exploratory is here, okay, when you ask open questions. So explore, right, like I've mentioned in the previous slide, ask open questions to discover what is happening and gain insights about a topic or a research. So number 2 is when we say descriptive, okay, a descriptive type of research gain an accurate profile of events, person, or situation. For example, when you want to write about COVID-19, you want to describe the whole scenario of COVID-19, how it happens, how it spread, what are the situations that is happening culturally or globally, and so on. Okay, so you want to describe the whole scenario. So you want to gain an accurate profile of the events. Usually the previous descriptive research, we can look into how people explain about World War I or World War II and other issues that are very detailed that has happened in the history. Okay, so number 3 is what we call explanatory. Explanatory study is where the studies that establish causal relationship. So usually when you test hypotheses, okay, or you have theories, okay, you want to prove. So these are more to when you say explain, okay, explanatory is more deductive approach, and it's usually positivism, okay. And number 4, okay, the type of research design is evaluative. Okay, this is more also you want to find out if something works well. You want to evaluate a certain scenario. Is this good? Is this bad? Okay, this right? Is this wrong? So it is also looking like a positivism approach, but you can also use interpretism to look at what other people's opinion are on a certain matter, or you can also look at a generalized situation whereby you want to see how many % of people say yes, how many % say no, how many % agree and disagree, and so on. So evaluative research can go either quanti, quali, or mix. Okay, so number 5, we look into combined research design. Okay, so it is more than one purpose in its design. This may be achieved by using multiple methods of the research design. So if you have more than one type of research questions, yeah, not only all going towards quantitative or all going towards qualitative. You have various types of research questions that can only be answered by collecting various types of data and various type of analysis technique. So it is called the combined research design. Okay, now we look at the strategies, whether quantitative, qualitative, or both. So let's look at this picture here. Okay, so this is some form of a social experiment. So have a pause at this video and think, okay, this type of social experiment, is it quantitative? Okay, is it qualitative? Or is it both? Okay, so pause this video, have a think, and then unpause, and we will discuss. Okay, so I think you have take some time to think of it. Okay, this type of research can be quantitative, it can be qualitative, it can also be both. It depends on how the researcher view it, how the researcher designed the research, and the objective of the research. So if it's looking into how many, okay, how many people will take the money, this is quantitative. Okay, because how many, right? If we want to see what type of people, maybe, okay, or, you know, maybe the time they take, okay, the personality of the people. So this type is more qualitative. Okay, so it's more subjective. Or you want to mix both. You want to see how many, okay, how many, and then who took the money. So that will be quali plus quanti. Okay, so again, I would like to reiterate to you, as a researcher, you are the one who will design your topic, your research question, your research objectives, and your research design, as well as the method that you are going to use to answer your research question and fulfill your research objectives. So from now on, you have to start to think, yeah, whether or not the research design that you are going to choose will, at the end of the day, help to fulfill your research objectives and answer your research questions. Yeah, it must be cohesive, like I've mentioned in the last class, from the beginning of the topic until the end, where you have analyzed and interpret your data. Okay. So let's look at another example here. This is the Fun Theory initiative by Volkswagen. So this is also something that we can do an analysis in terms of quantitative, qualitative, or both. Okay, you can pause this video first before I give some explanation, and then you can have a listen on my explanation, whether or not we have the same idea or the same opinion about this situation. Okay, so if you have unpaused the video, so let's look at this. Volkswagen has created this initiative whereby they want to encourage more people to use the stairs. Okay, this is to encourage people to be more healthy, okay, instead of using the escalator. If you can see here, there are two. There are escalators, and also there are stairs. So what they did was they installed this a piano-like keys on the stairs, and when they step on the stairs, okay, there will be notes like the piano, okay, like you are playing the piano but with your feet. Okay, so this increase the curiosity of people, and it makes going up the stairs more fun. So what they do is, this is their research question: can we get more people to choose the stairs by making it fun to do? So from their research, you can Google it, you can look at it through YouTube. So there are an increase. Yeah, they can see an increase in terms of how many people took this test before they installed the piano keys compared to after. So their theory is proven that when it is fun, people will will choose more healthy options. Okay, they didn't realize that they are actually exercising because it's fun. But if it's just a very simple stairs, many of them will choose the escalator. Okay, so this is also an example. Yeah, you can look at the how many people, who are the people. If you can see here, this is an old person. Usually we say that old person, they will choose the escalator because their knees or maybe their feet hurts when they climb the stairs. But because of the fun element, yeah, how the person interprets this scenario, okay, then they will choose the healthier option. Okay, so you can also view this research as both quanti, quali, or using both. Okay, so now finally we are going for time. We have already covered the method. Now we are going to look into the strategies. Okay, so there are 8 strategies. Okay, that you can choose to collect your data or to do your method. Okay, there is an experiment. Okay, survey type of research, archival, whereby we use documents. Okay, you can use case studies as an ethnography, or you do some action research, okay, or grounded theory and narrative inquiries. So this one you need to read, okay, like I've mentioned previously, you have to read in terms of to understand, yeah, which one is the most suitable for your research. Okay, so you can look at starting at page 190 and look at each of the strategies and understand each element to make sure that you can choose the right type of research strategies. Okay, so you can also then come up, yeah, with a mind map of how you have chosen your methods. Okay, and finally we are going for the time horizon. So the time horizon is choosing the time frame that you want to conduct your research on. So as I mentioned earlier, so there's cross-sectional studies, and also there are longitudinal study. So cross-sectional is when data is collected at one point in time because of time restrictions. So in PSM, usually you just collect the data once. Okay, so usually it's suitable here because of the time constraint. So if you have time, okay, or you want to expand your research, you can choose longitudinal study. You can collect your data repeatedly on the same situation, the same respondents. Okay, so maybe you take 10-year time, okay, 10 years time, collect on the same people. So maybe the first year, and then maybe the 5th year, and then maybe the 10th year. Okay, and then you compare in terms of the analysis and the findings. Okay, so this is what we call longitudinal study. Okay, so in terms of methodology, okay, the other things that are very important when you are chosen, when you want to choose your methodology, okay, you have to look into the reliability of the data. Okay, make sure that you collect your data from the suitable respondents, so it is reliable, it is valid. Okay, you do not force people to do it. Okay, and the data or the survey that you design is asking the right questions that will help to fulfill your objectives and answer your research question. And if you are doing a quantitative, for example, generalizability is very important because you are doing a general study, and you need to also figure out how can your findings be generalized into other contexts that share some similar characteristics with your particular research. Okay, if you are doing qualitative, the generalizability will be smaller because it is very focused and unique towards your topic only. Okay, and you need to also look at logic leaps and false assumptions. So this is looking into a logical flow and assumptions that can be defended, because at the end of the day, when you complete your thesis, when you have written your complete thesis, you need to present a very thorough, rigorous, and clear methodology chapter or section, so that other people who in the future that will be looking into your thesis or your document, okay, they can replicate. They will be able to replicate your methodology in the future. Okay, so this is what we called the logic leaps and false assumption. So if they can easily replicate and they can understand easily how you collect the data, how you analyze it, how you interpret the data, then your findings will be credible, right? So another very important thing is about plagiarism. Okay, you cannot take other people's work and claim it as yourself, although you cite the source. Okay, so for example, you read somewhere and you take 100% of their wordings and just straightly put in your PSM or in your thesis. That is something that is wrong. Okay, you cannot do that. So you have to reword it using your own understanding and your own writing. Okay, so in terms of text similarity, you need to have it below 15% to be acceptable by the journals. Okay, more than 25% is considered high percentage of plagiarism. This is according to journals, journal publication. So for your PSM, please look at the guidelines. What percentage of similarity is acceptable? All right. So that's all for our topic, chapter 5. So all the best. Please read chapter 4 and chapter 5 to gain an in-depth understanding on your research design, research philosophy, methodological approach, and also your time frame of doing research. So all the best in doing your research, and also see you again in the next class. Bye-bye. Take care, everyone.